Welcome to this guide on flying within the United States while your I-485 green card application is pending. To set expectations, we will answer the core question. If you are here legally but do not yet have your green card, can you fly safely? The short answer is typically yes. In this video, we will break down why that is, how TSA works, which IDs to carry, and exactly what to do on travel day. We will also cover edge cases, common mistakes, and include quick quizzes. Let's begin. Here is today's agenda. First, we'll explain authorized stay and why your pending I-485 plus EAD matters. Next, we'll clarify TSA's mission versus immigration enforcement. Then, we'll list the documents that make domestic travel smooth. After that, we'll walk through a step-by-step travel plan. We will also visualize decisions and timing with diagrams. Finally, we'll cover edge cases and wrap up with quick quizzes and key takeaways. The quick answer is that if you have filed for adjustment of status and hold a valid Employment Authorization Document, you are in a period of authorized stay. Therefore, you can fly domestically within the United States, including Alaska and Hawaii. This is because TSA focuses on verifying identity and flight security, not immigration enforcement. Let's clarify your status. When you have filed Form I-485 and received a valid Employment Authorization Document, you are generally in a period of authorized stay. This covers domestic travel within the 50 states, including Alaska and Hawaii. However, it does not authorize international travel or re-entry without advance parole. Remember, TSA's function is to confirm identity and ensure flight security. It is not to handle immigration adjudications. Keeping your key documents current and accessible reduces delays and avoids confusion. Here is the core contrast. On the legal right side, authorized stay with a valid EAD supports domestic travel, and flying domestically is not an immigration violation. Your documentation helps confirm lawful presence, while your I-485 is pending. On the airport security side, TSA focuses on identity verification and safety. Using poor or non-standard identification can slow you down. Therefore, carry strong, widely recognized IDs to minimize delays and confusion. Let's cover the essential documents. Your best primary IDs include a valid passport from your home country, a real ID-compliant state driver's license or state ID, or your DHS Employment Authorization Document, known as Form I-766. You can carry support documents like I-797C receipt notices, a copy of your I-485, or proof of address, but treat them as secondary. Do not rely on a Social Security card alone, because TSA does not accept it as standalone identification. Some TSA checkpoints accept digital driver's licenses, but bring a physical backup to avoid issues. With Real ID enforcement active, a compliant state ID works, and federal documents like a passport or EAD continue to be acceptable IDs for screening. This table organizes your options. A home country passport is widely recognized and serves as primary identification. A Real ID compliant state driver's license or state ID is often the fastest option at checkpoints. The EAD card is a federal photo ID and is accepted as a primary ID. I-797C receipt notices can help provide context if any questions arise, but they are secondary. A Social Security card is not accepted by itself and should not be relied upon as standalone identification. Here is a practical game plan. First, check in online early and save a screenshot of your boarding pass. Next, pack your IDs in a quick access pouch with your passport, EAD, or state ID on top. Then, plan to arrive 2 to 3 hours early, especially if you are out of practice. At TSA, present your strongest single ID first, such as your passport, Real ID, or EAD. If any questions arise, calmly explain that you are traveling domestically and provide your government-issued ID. If referred to secondary screening, you may respectfully ask for a supervisor and present your support documents. Keep copies of your I-485 and I-797C in your carry-on, but avoid over-explaining unless asked directly. Finally, proceed to your gate, hydrate, and maintain calm confidence. Here is a quick checklist you can print or save. Include a primary ID such as your passport, Real ID driver's license, or state ID, or your EAD. Add secondary documents like I-797C receipts, an I-485 copy, and proof of address. Save your boarding pass offline and charge your phone. Use a TSA-friendly pouch for fast access to documents. Bring an empty water bottle, snacks, and any medications. Prepare a calm, simple explanation if asked questions. You are flying domestically, and you have your government-issued ID. This flowchart starts with the intent to fly domestically. It checks whether you have a valid primary ID like a passport, real ID driver's license, or ID, or an EAD. If any ID is expired, the flow directs you to renew the document or bring an alternative, acceptable ID. If relying on an EAD, the chart asks whether it is valid. If not, it recommends using a passport or real ID instead. It then asks whether you have support documents such as I-797C receipts or a copy of your I-485. These are optional but helpful. The chart also includes a gate for international travel, reminding you to stop and obtain advance parole if you plan to leave and re-enter the United States. Finally, it ends with proceeding to TSA with confidence for domestic travel. Quiz time. Which option is the strongest combination for smooth TSA screening while your I-485 is pending? Option A. Only a Social Security card. Option B. Passport plus EAD. Option C. A photocopy of your EAD only. Option D. A library card. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is passport plus EAD. A valid passport is one of the most widely recognized IDs at security, and an EAD is an accepted federal photo ID. Presenting either one is usually sufficient, but having both readily available tends to minimize delays and questions. Let's clarify TSA's role. TSA verifies identity and protects aviation security. It does not adjudicate your immigration case and is not there to enforce immigration laws against lawfully present travelers. Carry a clear, strong ID to streamline the identity check and reduce questions. Here are important edge cases. If your legal name differs across documents, bring linking records such as a marriage certificate or court order. If your passport is expired, but your EAD is valid, use the EAD as your primary ID and plan to renew the passport. With real ID enforcement active, non-compliant state licenses may not be accepted, so use a passport or EAD instead. Flights to U.S. territories such as Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, or Guam are domestic, but you may encounter CBP or agriculture checks, so carry strong identification. If you are sent to secondary screening, remain calm, request a supervisor if necessary, and present your support documents. Finally, do not attempt international travel or re-entry without advance parole while your I-485 is pending. Domestic travel is okay, but international travel requires proper authorization. This timeline shows an ideal travel day. At 24 hours before departure, check in online. Around 12 hours before, confirm documents and charge your phone. 3 hours before the flight, arrive at the airport. 2 hours before, prepare for the ID check at TSA. Approximately 90 minutes before departure, clear security. 1 hour before, find your gate and hydrate. 30 minutes prior, boarding groups typically begin. At scheduled departure time, the aircraft takes off. Second quiz. What is TSA's primary mission at the checkpoint? Option A. Immigration enforcement. Option B. Identity verification and aviation security. Option C. Tax collection. Option D. Approving green card applications. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is identity verification and aviation security. TSA's job is to confirm you are who you say you are and to protect the traveling public. It does not handle immigration adjudications. This mind map centers on a domestic travel ID strategy. The primary ID branch includes a passport, a real ID driver's license or state ID, and the EAD. The secondary documents branch includes I-797C receipt notices, a copy of the I-485, and proof of address. The contingencies branch covers practical scenarios, such as using the EAD if the passport is expired, bringing linking documents for name mismatches, and using a passport or EAD if the state license is not real ID compliant. Please note this important disclaimer. The information in this video is general and does not constitute legal advice. Agency policies, enforcement practices, and documents accepted at checkpoints can change. Always verify current TSA and DHS guidance, check with your airline, and consult a qualified immigration attorney for advice specific to your situation. Here are the key takeaways. Authorized stay with a valid EAD generally supports domestic flying. TSA focuses on identity verification and aviation security. Your best IDs are a passport, a real ID compliant state ID, or an EAD. A social security card alone is not sufficient. Optional support documents can provide peace of mind. Remember, you need advance parole for any international travel and re-entry while your I-485 is pending. In summary, pack a strong ID, arrive early, and stay calm. Use the flowchart and checklist to prepare. With your I-485 pending and a valid EAD, you can travel domestically with confidence while following TSA's identity requirements. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you, please like, share, and subscribe for more practical guides on immigration smart travel. What is your biggest airport worry? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments so we can help more people travel with confidence.